Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Metroid Randomizer Weekly Race. I am RoboScout, one of your wonderful hosts, and with me I have...
Sean?
Yep. And today we have a weekly race between Feisty and the Ginger Crystal, also known as TGC. It is Odd Weekly this week, so we will be going with vanilla elevators and starting location. All the runners are ready to go, so we should be heading off soon, trademarked. And so, yeah, our, whatchamacallit, the reset, like, the friendly load, caloric Frigate Wild, which, that would seemingly imply Artifact of Wild in Frigate, which is fun. And again, is Artifact of Wild one of the artifacts that can show up in the default settings with Randomizer? Because Randomizer actually, fixes the order for the artifacts. I don't know.
Yeah, Robo, your audio sounds kind of choppy.
Huh, that is weird. Alright.
Okay, there are only 3 runners in total today. We have Interslice on the racetrack.
Alright, hopefully that's better. Anyway, and we are off.
Yeah, it's much better.
Alright, that's good. Let's see, what will there be in Alcove? TGC using the opportunity of the new randomization customization features to show off his favorite color. And we've got Vanilla Space Jump. Nice.
It's always vanilla.
Alright, from here, both runs are probably just going to head into Vanilla Chiz, as there isn't anything else that they can really be doing right now in town.
Yeah, we don't have missiles, we don't have anything, so...
Yeah,
that's where
can't
we
grab
are.
any of the checks in Root Cave or... That is quite some Samuses?
Oh,
Interesting colors.
I like green Samus.
Eh, it's not bad. The Xbox Samus for Phazon suit's pretty good. Man, let's see. What is in our...
For that one, I just use blue, because it makes sense.
Yeah, no. Actual
pretty
Phazon colored
standard-
Phazon suit.
A pretty standard color, a pretty standard launcher.
Yep. Is Powerbomb expansion in the Grapple Edge, which,
That's definitely useful.
Yep. Although logically they will not be expected to be able to use power bombs for until they get the main launcher. However,
we don't have power bombs, but it's definitely useful to actually have them.
Yep.
We could,
I imagine our
early
runners
checks.
won't exactly be complaining about having them. That looks like something in Ruin Shrine. Nope, that is regular bombs. Fortunately, without the Morph Ball to go with them, they will just be paperweights in the inventory, but I imagine they're not exactly complaining about finding it right now.
I think there was another power bomb in the tunnel at the top.
Yeah, I can't quite tell either.
I saw orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Upper Shrine was a power bomb. Let's see now if no, only if I say peeked it.
That is an artifact in nursery, which is one less the runners need to worry about. Just a missile in gallery. I see, not even gonna pick that up. Just gonna stick with the 5 missiles from launcher.
There's bound to be more on the way anyway.
Yeah, that is a pretty fast check to grab.
More full.
There we go. And
Yeah,
now all
there we
those
go.
high
Another missile.
explosives Feisty has been gathering is going to be put to use. I see you heading straight back into gallery and probably nursery to grab the artifact and the gallery item. Never a bad call.
Yeah, this is definitely... Yep. Yeah, that was worth it.
Very much so. Oop. Super missiles aren't the most important item, but when they are important, they are very important.
And they can be useful for a few bosses.
Yep, definitely.
And ghosts.
I see doing some nice standable collision to skip a good portion of the nursery art puzzle. Imagine Feisty will probably be heading over to... Oh, looks like Feisty is grabbing the vault items. Both the ledge and vault itself, which they can grab because they do have both morph and bombs. Did you see showing off another way of skipping the nursery puzzle? That is Validator in Vault, and unfortunately Feisty has decided they don't want to be valid today. Unfortunate.
I wonder if anyone is going to win today.
Who knows?
Without flamethrower, I don't think anyone wins.
No.
Them's the rules.
Yep.
Alright, so that's Boost in the Tree. Pretty loaded Charizard so far.
Yep, definitely seems like a jet seed so far, although I may have just cursed things. Apologies for the artifact showing up in Biohazard soon.
Soon? You mean in 1.5 hours when we finally get gravity off of a Mega Pirate?
Very true.
Yeah, okay, I was right about that.
Yep,
Oh, boy.
nice eyes.
Yeah, the power bombs in this game look pretty distinct.
Yeah. Especially main power bombs, which, are Christmas tree, basically. Yeah, both of our runners are pretty much neck and neck at this point. They're holding hands quite well right here.
Yeah, can anyone check on Interslice, see if he got the flamethrower in case, just in case, so we know who's actually winning.
Does not look like Interslice has marked Flamethrower on their tracker still. Unfortunately, it looks like it's a race full of unvalid runs.
Shame.
Shame. Of course, I imagine the big question on our runners' minds right now is, where is Varia suit? As that is the next big item blocking logical progression right now, as there really aren't many logical options you can go to outside of just early
Oh,
Talon and Chozo without it.
yeah, I
Since
might very well be in Talon at this point.
might
Okay, there's Spider, so we can immediately check up a Dynamo. That's really good.
Yeah, always nice to not have to worry about Dynamo in the back
Oh,
pocket,
it's an
and even
artifact.
more nice since it had an
Nice.
artifact.
How many do we have?
6 artifacts, so that is 1/3
Okay.
already down. I see. Yep, they are checking the lower watery hole item right here, which is just a missile expansion. Item can be a bit risky to go for when you have no
Don't die.
E-tanks, but look,
Okay.
come on, TGC. Alright, both of them managed to make it out. I know TGC saved beforehand, so wasn't that much of a
Okay.
risk.
Trick bats, of course, don't drop any health, because why would they? There's
Yeah.
more on the ceiling here, but looks like Feisty is just gonna save. Save stations refill your health. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, chat pointing out, with both Spider Ball and Super Missiles, the, Artifact of Wild
Sun
Ghost.
chamber ghosts are in logic, yeah.
Yep. That could be a fun spot for Varia.
So let's see what Zoid has. It's like a 50-50 with Zoid. Sometimes it's got progression, sometimes it's got nothing. Well, this was the former. We've got an artifact here in the side room. And
Lots of artifacts early on.
I would love to see a seed that just happens entirely in Chozo.
That wouldn't surprise me if that's already happened, and honestly, probably wouldn't even be less surprised if it happened in a week, because the weeklies do seem to love Chozo a lot.
Yeah, especially odd settings.
Yeah, odd tend to be. Chozo can tend to be stacked in modern Randomania versions.
I mean, honestly, we might get We might get next to all artifact. Is that gravity?
Well, that's gravity.
Really?
Well, that's a suit, but
Okay.
I imagine it's not the one our runners were looking for.
Oh no! Now I'm. Oh, I kind of wish we could say what colors were chosen for Varia, but apparently
Yeah,
we're not going
no.
to be able to.
We'll be skipping that one in the cycle.
At least we got my favorite suit.
Yep. Gravity's nice. Nice one, Mayo. Yeah. Both our runners heading into the mid to late Chozo furnace area, although lack of beams will likely constrain their progress from going any further unless we happen to get some very convenient items.
So, someone in chat asked if we have upper furnace. I don't think it's in logic right now, because you still need power bombs,
Yeah.
but we can do it.
Yeah. Both of the runners should be able to get upper furnace no problem, even in the vanilla method, since they do have both the expansions.
Gravity unlocks a few things. Mostly just Frigate.
That is another artifact in Chozo.
It unlocks Frigate. Then there's of course Light Chamber. Is that what it's called?
Tower of Light?
Tower Chamber.
Oh yeah,
That's
Tower
it.
Chamber, yeah.
Tower Chamber. Alright, that's another artifact.
Yeah, I think the rest of the gravity checks are all in late Fendrana after that.
Yeah, mostly. The main thing it does is just make underwater movement a lot better.
It also does make Magma Pool a lot easier to skip. Although
Yeah, that's true.
I doubt either runner will go for it with not having any E-tanks. And still having no Varia, so yeah. Doubt we'll be seeing Magma Pool right now, but
Yeah, especially with 90 tanks.
yeah. Personally, I'm guessing they'll probably warp to start right now and then clean up town and grab hints for the 2 remaining artifacts. And let's see. Where are our remaining artifacts going to be? Statistically, they're probably going to be somewhere in Chozo.
I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I know that's
Let's
not how
see.
statistics work, but that's how meme statistics work.
Let's see in Crash Site.
Yeah. Yeah, first real divergence we've seen in this run so far. Both our runs have stuck to each other like glue so far.
Well, the early game was pretty much just Chozo, so there's not many ways you can do that.
Well, that's more artifacts. Unfortunately, it's there to break the chain. But that is still going to be giving us 5 artifacts and only 1 hint for TGC to remember. Sun Chamber!
Of course. I'm guessing it's the second encounter in Sun Chamber.
But of course, because suffering.
I mean, it's mostly because super missiles and Spider were very early.
Yep. Unfortunately, there was an artifact in Artifact Temple, so we will not be having the Mono Chozo artifact seed. Although you suppose you could count like Artifact Temple as like an honorary Chozo Ruins location. Not on the world map, but it's Chozo Ruins in spirit. Yeah, although worth keeping in mind that though beams may not be, or though artifacts may not be a major obstacle in this seed, we still have 0 beams and Phazon suit to worry about, so this seed is far from over.
Yeah. You know, if we find Wave, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that we have to get through Frigate, and if we find Ice Beam after Frigate or in Frigate, then we have to proceed to Mines.
Yeah, would not be surprised considering how jet seed this is so far. Although we would still need 3 more items to get into relatively soon for Frigate to be in logic.
Right, and of course we have the Metroids to save.
Yep. Just a missile in Arbor Chamber.
I love Pfizer just dropping onto the expansion.
Yep, that is very nice. And speaking of beams, there is our
Yeah.
first one. The Wave Beam. Cygnus in chat, no, there is no way to do reverse frigate without Ice Beam in the, vanilla elevators. Because both elevators that lead to the Great Tree Chamber area will require Ice Beam to get, out of, so. As well as requiring Ice Beam to get to the other ends of those elevators in the first place, so, no.
So, it looks like immediately upon getting Wave, Pfizer decided to go to Tower of Light, check Tower Chamber.
Makes sense, it is one of the places that, it is opened up, one of the few places that is opened up by Wave.
And Gravity.
Yep.
Especially Gravity.
Well, it doesn't look like that will be paying off for them too much. For those wondering why neither runner is climbing Tower of Light or Tower of Missiles as it's currently known, currently Randomizer does not have a way to logically support placing item in there, as Tower of Light is unique as the only location that requires multiple expansions. It requires you to have 40 missiles, and that's just not logically supported in the default settings for Randomizer. As such, Tower of Light will never have logical progression. Can have progression items, technically, however, said progression items will never be needed.
Of course, Tower of Light can be in logic if you just enable standable terrain to a certain level. What level is Tower of Light?
I think it's an intermediate. Yeah, I think it's an intermediate because only beginner tricks. I think most beginner tricks are enabled for the weekly races, but not intermediate.
Yeah, I think weeklies only have beginner stuff.
Yeah. There is also the possibility if you modify the settings to give it so one item will give you over at least 40 missiles. So if you play with your settings that way, then yes, it is possible for Tower of Light to be in logic. And both our runners are going to be heading for the reverse flogger route, which is actually it's a bit of a technical thing, but the flogger fight doesn't exactly activate until you go through the front door, but you can still blow up all the bridges that form it's effectively Flora's health bar, so you can effectively just kind of blow all of them up ahead of time and then go say hi to Flagra as it gets shocked that all of its bridges are already blown up.
Yeah, you just blow them all up, then trigger the fight, and Flagra will immediately die. So someone asked if Tower of Light can have an artifact, and no, because artifacts are progression. So with these settings right now, like, it can't.
Yeah. TGC is going for some complicated setups with power bombs that allow you to basically some very precise lineups that allow you to get multiple bridges with one power bomb, which can save some time considering each bridge destruction causes a cutscene because Plant is extremely vain and hogs all the attention of the camera.
I mean, it's not that precise, really. It's you just have to be relatively closer to the middle of them than literally the opposite of that.
Let's see, which sun chamber item will the artifact be on?
Probably
Looks
Ghosts.
like Ghost,
If
because
it's
that's
not,
a missile.
because if it's not, if it wasn't Ghosts, then Ghosts, I would still advise to check it, because those super missiles and Spider were too suspicious.
Yep, definitely makes sense. If you're gonna go through the effort of doing Flagra and you have the Spider Ball to logically do Ghost, it's probably for the best, unless you're doing something crazy and like running without charge. Because Ghost without charge beam is pain. One nice thing about having Super Missile for this fight is that it does make getting rid of the Ghost significantly easier. Although, annoyingly, the Ghosts do have some invincibility frames upon spawning in, and you have to wait for them to decide to become not Ghosts, I guess? Mortal? Vulnerable to attacks.
Yeah, vulnerable. Sometimes if you fire a super missile too early, it can like bounce off them, and then it will just go right back at them, and if in the meantime they become vulnerable, then that will just be a really cool hit.
It is. I remember I have seen that happen. It looks completely absurd when it happens. Although I think the rebound might be more due to the Hull of the Elders statue than the ghosts themselves.
So, which artifact is this? Wild.
Yep. Vanilla Artifact of Wild.
Yeah, that's vanilla, yeah.
Yep. And yeah, we have all of our artifacts in under 30 minutes. Although, amazingly, we have also gotten all artifacts before we have gotten a single E-tank, which is quite something.
Yeah, this seed is I don't want to say it's being stingy with E-tags. They're probably all in the other areas. The other areas are probably pumped full of them.
Oh yeah, they're definitely all in other areas. They have to go somewhere, but they're not here. And yeah, at this point, it really does come down to where the last two beams in Phazon suit are. Oh, that's Ice Beam and Crossway. That's one of 3 items.
I remember Spring Ball. I remember Spring Ball, how they wanted to add it to this game, and then said, "But we ran out of buttons." No.
Really? I did not know that.
What are you talking about? No, you haven't run out of buttons. No.
Yeah, no, you can definitely add spring. There's definitely spare buttons for Morph Ball and Prime.
Like, what? No.
Like, just use the R or L button. You can't exactly lock on in Morph Ball.
Yeah. Spider uses R, right?
Oh yeah, Spider uses R, so yeah, it would
So
have
just-
to be L, which is...
So just make boost L and then make B spring, so you can just, you know,
Yep, that would...
jump normally. Anyway, that was Ice Beam in what's this room called?
Crossway.
Crossway.
If they did implement Spring Ball and Prime, it is curious to think about how some things would change, especially like with the some of the routing. Could see bombs becoming significantly less important.
Well, it depends. In the Wii version, you get Spring Ball with bombs, so
Yeah.
that still keeps bombs relevant. But if the game was designed with Spring Ball in it, then it would probably have been more like Prime 3, where you have Spring Ball as soon as you get Morph Ball. And you don't
Well,
need
you
bombs for it.
just start with Morphin Bombs in Prime 3, I believe, though.
Yeah, but like I play the Rando a lot, and
Oh,
there you can just use the Spring Ball without needing bombs.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe it could have been like Fusion and Zero Mission, where you just get alongside Space Jump.
Yeah, something like that would be cool.
Could have been interesting.
Actually, recently floated the idea of having like multiple pickups in the Rando for Prime, like having multiple pickups in the same location.
Hmm.
Like, the original idea was to make any list of items progressive. Like any list that you want, you make those items progressive. Like you make a list, you name it, and then you just put you list the items, and then those become progressive. And then the sort of natural evolution of that would be also make a feature where you make another list, you name it, you put items in it, and those items are all put in the same location. to get them all at once.
Interesting idea. It's going to be interesting to see where runners go next. TGC, because there is the question of Life Grove or Overgrown Cavern, both of which can have items, and it does look more and more like logically Frigate is the option. However, since neither runner has found thermal, technically it is not in logic yet. However, unless we find a very cursed Varia soon, I doubt. I am guessing Frigate it was somehow the play. Although then we will have the question of, will our runners actually do Frigate, or will we just be seeing bar skip today?
Maybe invisible objects should be a bit higher in the weeklies. I think that would make a mandatory Frigate more likely.
Fair, that is one thing. I've always preferred invisible objects to be at minimum, just because there's very few logically required uses for visors in Prime, since the only one is OP, so I think it gives some more routing utility to the visors, because you can now think, oh, I don't have to go Frigate right now because I don't have thermal. I haven't found thermal yet, so I think it adds some more interesting weight to the visors that are otherwise not the most valuable items outside of just final bosses.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing more Frigate is always fun. For some people. Namely the commentators and not the runners. Welp! I need to go eat my words, because that is a very cursed Varia suit location.
I mean, Frigate is a pretty small area. It's just like, especially if you have gravity, it's definitely not that bad.
Yeah, especially nowadays with cutscenes removed, it's not that bad, but it's still probably one of the less efficient areas for routing.
Yeah, it's basically a tunnel.
Yeah. Now, here is the question: where is TGC going to go next? Looks like TGC is going for the bar skip. Everyone's favorite trick.
I like Ice Beam, but not in this game. It's way too slow.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Ice Beam definitely has its uses in this game, but it also has severe problems with just the rate of fire and the travel speeds, which can make trying to get some use on it on certain enemies, especially flying pirates, kind of a pain.
Yeah, don't even try to shoot flying pirates with Ice Beam. What are you doing?
Yeah. If I see getting trolled by Life Grove Tunnel, unfortunately.
Hey, that's a Metroid saved. We're up to
It was more just referring to Life Grove Tunnel collision.
both runners are just left the Metroid in Ice Beam, in the Ice Beam location. They just left it to die alone.
Don't know how they can do that. TGC, unfortunately, running a bit low as turrets have been bullying him quite a bit in Biohazard. Though there is a save station up ahead for it, so TGC... anger shots. Understandable. Oh no! That...
At least we've got 2 suits.
Yeah, that is... Yeah, if TGC did not have any suits, he would be back to a save room at this point, and very thankful you can see one right here. Yeah, at this point, Varia definitely seems like the logical location. Also seems like Feisty is not going to be taking the Frigate play, which in hindsight we know is the correct one.
Yeah. So, Feisty might just be going to Mark more now.
Yeah, Magmore seems like the best play at this point. Although, probably is a few places to grab check in Chozo.
Magma Pool, anyone?
Yeah, Magma Pool would make sense considering our runners just got Varia and logical power bombs.
We still have now E-tanks though, and I'm not sure I would be very comfortable diving into the lava.
Yeah, I think when done optimally, Magma Pool, you only lose like 10 to 20 energy, so I think Magma Pool is definitely an option for a runner right now, even without Grapple Beam or the dash. Although, it looks more like Feisty is just doing went through Chozo for the clean Magma routing, which, that's fair.
That was a beautiful synced morph. So we need to be very careful here with no E-tanks still. Hopefully we find one.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like a suit in Shore Tunnel. Could it be the mythical Phazon? It is! Phazon was indeed merciful this week.
So now we just need Plasma Beam.
Yep. And the fact that all we need is Plasma Beam is going to cut off a lot of different routing options that our runners will no longer need to worry about. If Plasma Beam shows up soon, we legit might see some runners attempting oh, never mind. I was gonna say Exo with no E-tanks, but well, there we go. That's two, right there. So, hold on, need to go eat my words. But
yeah, but Baha just had just said, "Where the heck are the E's?" There they are.
Yep.
All close to each other.
And yep, as you're pointing out, Vanilla Plasma is a possibility, but Lower Mines is dead. R.I.P. Although we still do not have any visors, which well, they're not required. They do make Essence less of a pain.
Wanna try Dread mode in Prime?
I'm sure that could go well.
It's already programmed in Randomizer. Been for a while.
I think it's only programmed for Echoes, though.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe so. There was just a useless button for it in Prime that got removed recently.
Okay. Well, you can still customize the HP in each E-tank, so
Yeah, very true.
you can just put one, and just put no E-tanks in the pool.
Yep.
That's it.
Or you could make it so you get like a second HP at some point. That can be your go mode item, the second each HP.
I mean, 2 HP isn't really that much. I'm pretty sure every single attack in the game does at least like 2 or 3.
Yeah, but it feels nice. Now you have 2. Ooh, and Feisty,
Yeah,
going with the phase-on suit look.
the screen would still say 0. So that would mean no hell runs, no damage at all, just playing it very safe. For example, in this room Feisty is in right now, this room you'd have to take the tunnel.
Feisty looks like is actually going to be skipping the early Fendrana and heading into the late Magmor, either to do Fendrana from reverse or heading straight to mines, which is a probably for the best, considering a lot of the early Fendrana checks are plasma locked, and so just the odds are plasma probably isn't there, although of course never doubt Randovania's ability to troll you.
I wonder what colour Feisty chose for their phase-on suit. We should be seeing it in just a second.
We saw it. It was the phase-on-esque phase-on suit with black and blue.
Oh, okay. Good. I like that.
Yep,
Yeah,
here we go.
love it.
It's very nice.
Love it. This is the real phase-on suit. Actually, the real phase-on suit would be the beta one. That one still looks a lot better than this one.
Yeah, the beta phase-on suit looks really cool. Go look it up if you haven't. It's legitimately very interesting because it looks like an actual combination of like a phase-on infected gravity suit. You see, it looks like we'll not be making the same routing decision as Feisty, and will be heading into early Fendrana, searching for his plasma beam. And of course, none of us know where the plasma beam is. So
the beta phase-on suit actually reminds me a bit of Corruption.
Yeah, very much so. I wouldn't be surprised if that was an inspiration anyway.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Like you get slowly corrupted over the game, and
Yeah.
Along the max corruption levels, that's really close to the beta phase-on suit.
Yeah, that is very true. The max corrupted PED suit does look a lot similar to the beta phase-on suit, which is a good thing because I think max level corrupted suit looks very cool.
Yeah, it does.
I find it interesting how the Prime games made blue the evil color. Like, when people think of like an evil color to use in games, it's like red is the big one, but like sometimes we get like purple or stuff like that. Oftentimes like black, like the edgy colors.
Too bad both those colors were already worn by Samus, so that can't really be the bad colors, can they?
True. Although I suppose that's why they made the phase-on suit black and red, because according to the developers, they wanted to make the phase-on suit look more evil. But yeah, it is interesting how the Prime games portray blue as kind of the evil colors outside of Prime 1 phase-on suit.
It's like, okay, so what colors are very much associated with negatives in the West? Okay, so we've got red. Yeah, just a problem. Samus already wears red and orange, so we can't really do that. Okay. What about purple? Hey, remember the gravity suit? Oh, right. Though another big kind of bad poison corruption color is green, especially darker shades of green.
Yeah, that could look cool.
Though the primes, and in general, kind of every Metroid game, they do feature a lot of flora, so there's a lot of green there. And,
Yeah, that would make sense. Prime games, I've just they like to use a lot of color contrasting. It's the reason why I think like people will meme about how corruption is very orange, and I think that's intentionally done in a
is.
way to kind of contrast with the blue of Phazon, to try like make like a contrast between the natural world pre-corruption and then the corrupting force of Phazon.
Yeah, but then they made Phazon look more a lot more red in some places. Like
Yeah,
the pirate homeworld on the surface looks very red.
yeah. Looks like both of our runners are going to be... Oh, never mind, Fuzzy is taking the opportunity to explore Outer Phendrana first. That does make sense.
So, someone in chat said that Metroid doesn't really use colors in its themes or anything. That's true, but the primes do have a theme of corruption in general. Like in Prime 1, you have Phazon, in Prime 2, you have the Ing, and in Prime 3, you have Phazon again. So,
Yeah. I'm not sure I'd agree with that, but hey, that's just my opinion. I think corruption definitely does seem to have some themes of the contrasting colors between the orange natural world and the blue of Phazon, but eh.
maybe,
Uh,
but oh, that's an X-ray. That's interesting. I'm sorry. And isn't
Very
that
nice
like
for
right
Fuzzy.
next? Isn't that like right next to the X-ray check?
Yeah, true, there is like there is that infamous
That plasma
storage
door.
cave artifact, which
Yeah.
doesn't show up when you scan it, it only shows up in X-ray, so... Yeah.
So, Prime 1, I think, when it comes to colors, it just focused on having variety when it came to the areas. They
Yeah, I
wanted
can
to, like,
definitely agree with that.
they gave every area its own palette.
Yeah. All
I
the areas in
remember,
Prime 1 look very distinct.
yeah, I don't remember what video it was, but it was a video that said basically you can take a screenshot of any area in Prime, blur it until it looks nearly unrecognizable, and if you show it, if you look at it, you can still tell what area it's in because of the colors.
Anyway, we should probably talk about race more often now, but... Anyway, let's see.
So yeah, we're just looking for plasma, that's it. And
Yeah.
we have been for a while now.
Yep. Looks like runners both seem to be, or at least TGC seems to be heading out of Phendrana.
We've got Ice Spreader, which is good.
Yeah.
If the runners could stop synchronizing their actions, that would be great.
Yeah. Do believe TGC has elected to not search, late Fendrana as they went through Thardis and then just left the left out the back elevator.
Oh yeah, the Phazon it has this cool distortion effect around it.
Yeah, that is something interesting about it.
That distortion effect looks very GameCube. That's one of the things I think of when I think GameCube.
Yeah, I can see that. Although overall, Prime does... It has really aged well in the graphical department for what is a GameCube game. Especially considering it's not going for any kind of cartoony art style.
Yeah, GameCube games in general, at least the first-party ones made by Nintendo, those have aged really well. Like, you pick up Mario Sunshine, you pick up Zelda, especially Wind Waker, you pick up Luigi's Mansion, they all look great still.
Yeah, it is some real technical wizardry how they managed to work out those, especially considering the GameCube had, like, a reputation as being underpowered in the time, I believe. Although I think that was more just due to the disc size than the processing itself.
Yeah, the console was fine. It was more so the Wii that was criticized for being underpowered because it was just pretty much another GameCube.
Yeah, I think the joke was the Wii was 2 GameCube duct taped together.
Alright, there's a grapple beam in PPC.
Yeah.
That's going to be useful for a couple of things, especially here in mines. Just a couple rooms.
Yep. It's not the best items, but it is always nice to have.
Oh yeah, the main thing I wanted to do with that idea I described earlier about the list that gives you progressive items how you want, or gives you a few items at the same time. One thing I would do it with would be I would mix together the grapple lasso and grapple swing in Corruption.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would put them together.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's really weird that they decided to even make them separate items, because, like, you get the grapple lasso in Corruption, then you go to Brio, and then you get the swing. Like,
I think it's because they wanted the lasso to just be like a cool combat thing to show off, but then wanted swing to be an actual part of the progression, so they gave you lasso early on during, like, the combat tutorial where there's all, like, the flashy cutscenes and everything, and then waited for swing to give swing until you got into, like, the actual quote-unquote Metroid-y part of the game.
At least the part where you're not interrupted every 2 minutes, just every 5 minutes.
But yeah. It really is interesting to see how much the grapple beam evolved over the course of the series, where it was a late game pickup in Prime 1, but yet in Prime 3 it's like one of the first items you get in Brio, which is... It's an interesting evolution. In contrast to Boost Ball, which remained in pretty much the exact same spot across all 3 entries.
Yeah. One thing I didn't really like about how Primes progressed was the amount of items you start with. Like,
very nice snipe shot with a super missile by 5C to just snipe the cloak drone.
Like, in Prime 1 you start with nothing, in Prime 2 you start with Morph, and Charge, I believe?
Yeah.
And in Prime 3 you start with Morph, with Bombs, with charge, with space jump even. Like, I don't like that. I prefer when you start with as little as possible.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's basically just due to the fact that they didn't want to retread the same ground over and over again. They wanted to give more focus to the newer items. However,
Yeah,
so
but
I can understand.
you can also play around with them. Like you could make, like for example, space jump in Prime One. You get it after a while through the intended route anyway. In Prime Two, you get it a lot earlier. In Prime Three, they could have made it a late game item.
It could have done maybe something like what Dread does with Morph Ball or something.
Yeah, just play around with the placement.
Yeah.
Design the game around different placements. You're making a new game, just run with it. See what you can do.
Yeah. The way the Prime games distribute items is an interesting topic. Let's see. Is plasma in here? I can't really tell the resolution. Can TGC tell? I do not know.
Maybe the space jump boots could have been treated a bit like the space jump itself, like the one from the 2D games, where it's definitely not required, but it's a really nice tool to have to just traverse spaces more quickly.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because I think it's more just due to the limits of a 3D game that make them not having space jump limits your options as to the environments you can design. Yeah, I think you can see that Prime 3 really wanted to go with some more extravagant, especially like vertical rooms, which so they couldn't spend as much time not giving you space jump. Although I suppose
they could have just made the regular jump go higher.
True, that is an option.
Like, I've heard people say that just making the regular jump go higher causes like problems.
I mean, it might.
It causes problems, not in the game itself, but rather with the player, like motion sickness, something like that. But like, I've never experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, motion sickness tends to be a person-specific thing, but I can definitely see arguments between having a jump that's too tall can make sometimes platforming controls very unwieldy.
I am very much prone to motion sickness. Like, I have to play with an FOV of like 110 seriously, because like even 90 sometimes makes me motion sick.
Yeah.
Another thing they could have done instead of just making the jump go higher. Oh, that's a reset. Why I see I didn't quite get why.
Guessing it looks to just warp back to that Magma save point. Maybe looks like 5C is just heading back to try to explore mid-Fendrana some more, because I believe they only really explored Fendrana's edge too much, so...
Yeah, maybe they want to check out labs in
Yeah,
Varia and early Fendrana.
that could definitely make sense. Although I believe... Wait, never mind. Yeah, labs have actually been untouched so far, I believe. Oh no, is
Did
it
anyone
Rocks
check?
time?
Did anyone check early Vendrana?
I know TGC checked early Vendrana.
Okay.
It's Rocks time.
Oh well. At least we've got a few power bombs.
Yep.
But yeah,
Okay.
like as I was saying,
Rules.
another thing you can do instead of like making the jump go higher, you can have the double jump, and maybe you can make another power up that just lets you go higher, like even higher,
Eh.
like the gravity boost but on the ground.
I really wish they did more with gravity boost and echoes. They give it to you right
Yeah,
after you basically stop having any water areas.
yeah. There's not enough water in that game. There's like one area with water, and that's it.
7.8 out of 10, too little water. On the other hand, it's also worth considering that platforming is already kind of awkward within a first-person game with tank controls.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember that when it comes to like differences in jumping, I remember Dishonored. I think that's a pretty good example. Like Dishonored is a first person game with a lot of platforming. You run around a lot, jump around a lot, and there's an ability you can unlock fairly early on that allows you to jump higher. In the vanilla game, in the base game, it gives you a sort of double jump effect, but just by holding down the jump button, it gives you a double jump effect, and that feels pretty good. And in the DLC, where you play as a different character, that ability is still present, but instead of giving you a double jump effect, it makes your jump just go higher, and it makes it very floaty. And I really liked it. I really liked it. I like
Interesting.
floaty jumps. Feels very satisfying to just move around there.
Yeah. Anyway, Feisty has finished up our favorite Rocky friend, and let's see. What? Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Let's.
think we've seen this yet.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no
Can you
one's fought
imagine
rocks
if it was
yet.
plasma? Can you imagine if it was plasma? No. Oh well.
Unfortunately, we will need to continue imagining it
Uh,
being plasma.
it's a nice treat, at least.
Yeah, especially even now, that's still only Feisty's fourth energy tank. So, well, I imagine that's not what Feisty wanted to find right there. I imagine Feisty will probably take it. UC is having a very obnoxious fight with the Phazon Elite right here.
Yeah, look, the Phazon Elite is also a pretty good example of a design when it comes to Phazon in these games, because it looks really nice. It looks like it makes it look like Phazon is sort of almost a fungus.
Yeah, it is really. Phazon Elite does has a very
And
interesting design.
Phase in Corruption especially, it has a lot of that stuff. Like, really, the
Phase is
Phazon there
beautiful as an
really
area.
feels like it's more of a living creature than it is just
I mean, well,
a substance.
according to the lore of corruption, that is. So sounds like they succeeded if that's what their objective was. But yeah, Phase is really beautiful as an area, and it's by far the best of the of the trilogy's finishing areas, although that's also helped by the fact that it's the only one that's really just an area and not just a boss arena.
I mean, it's very much just a long trek to the arena.
Yeah, it is, but it is still a trek and not just a few rooms.
I guess it has a puzzle in it. Though I think my favorite ending area is still the Sky Temple.
Honestly, Sky Temple is probably my least favorite, but that probably also just goes into my bias. Sky Temple feels probably just like the least interesting to me.
Like, it's not that interesting, but I really like the like how it feels, because like the whole game you've been going to the dark versions of the world you've been exploring, and like when I heard of the Sky Temple, I wasn't really picturing it as a dark version of the Great Temple. Like I wasn't connecting the dots. I hadn't done that until I actually went to it. So for me, it was kind of a surprise and a really nice one.
Yeah, no,
Very
that is
specific.
definitely a cool aspect of it. I just think there's not really much to it. It's only 3 rooms.
It's
I
kind
think they
of
could have done.
random. It's kind of random that it's flipped, but I like it.
Oh no, it being flipped is definitely really cool. I just kind of, granted, this is more just a complaint in Prime 3 or in Prime 2 in general for me. I wish they had done more with the Dark World. Oftentimes it just feels too similar to the Light World to me. But
Yeah, sometimes it's just another room in the area, not really much else.
yeah. But anyway, enough about Prime 2 and Prime 3. Now back to Prime 1, where we are still searching for the plasma beam that has managed to evade our runners for 1 hour and 11 minutes so far. What's
Yeah, remember when you said that this could be a jet seed? Maybe you should
Randomania
have.
does like making me eat my words.
Oh yeah, after playing Dread, it feels, and actually also Super Metroid to a degree, it feels really weird when the bombs don't make you go horizontally if you come at them from a certain angle.
Yeah.
It feels weird to see the edge of the bomb make Samus go directly upwards.
Yeah, that is definitely something is different between the two games, and I am sure is going to throw me off at some point in the future when playing the two of them.
So, what locations could Plasma Beam be in? What haven't we
Yeah.
checked?
I think Labs is really the big area that we haven't been to yet. 'Cause both of our runners have basically kind of dodged around it.
Yeah, so Feisty is about to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see if it's here. We've seen MQA, right?
Yes, we have seen MQA. I believe both runners have.
And I believe that's the last possible locations in Lower Mines.
Yeah.
The last possible ones. So, not in Mines. Have we seen Main Quarry?
I think we have. I believe TGC went through the the early mine sections and did not find any plasma there either. So I think by process of elimination, it really has to just be somewhere in labs.
Yeah, so Reggie says it was a missile.
Yeah.
Oh, you know those sort of cursed pictures in Minecraft stuff that you know isn't supposed to be there, like mining water stuff like that. You know that meme, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought of something for Prime, negative health. Because like
Yeah.
health goes up to 99 and it goes down to 00. So it would be funny, I think, to have it go into the negatives. I like just post an edited screenshot with that negative health, where everything else is just no, actually, where everything else is also wrong. Just to make a good edited, just make it really nice. Like maybe make a blando and put a pickup in a place where you know there is no pickup, like in the secret tunnel.
Yeah. For hacks, I'm pretty sure there is. You could probably use some kind of like modding tool to get the to get your health into the negatives. All there is the chance that would just instantly kill you. And also Cygnus, believe TGC has checked the 3 Magma Pool items, and none of them were plasma. Don't believe plasma can be here in Control Tower either, because despite what speedrunners and rando players will tell you, plasma does actually require, or this room does actually require plasma by logic.
Oh yeah, yeah. You kind of forget about it when you're used to doing it this way.
Yeah, it really is
Fancy
interesting.
almost got it, but kind of just looked away for it for a second. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Faisy just wants to move perpendicular to the
There we go.
net. Yeah, you just want to move perpendicular to the net and just look directly at the explosives.
Yeah. Fortunately for TGC, he has decided to go explore Outer Fendrana for Plasma Beam and is not going straight for labs, which which we know isn't going to be the case.
Yeah, and the hitbox for the explosives on the tower are slightly to the left of them because that's where you normally shoot them from,
Yeah.
the left. So you need to aim more toward the canisters and a bit to the left. That's way more accurate. If you aim to the right, you'll just miss them.
Well, to the people who are curious what Interslice is up to, I would like to say congratulations to Interslice to winning this race with a time of 1:15:36, you madman.
Of course.
And there we have our plasma beam in Research Lab Aether. Unfortunately, both of our runners managed to basically go everywhere else before they decided to go to labs, and that was the place that plasma beam decided to show up in today.
Okay, I just saw something very cursed. So I just saw this render because like I was googling the beta phase one suit earlier to remind myself of the design, and uh, I stumbled upon a render made by someone with all the suits in Prime One, and they made renders of the morph ball for Gravity and Phazon without Spider Ball, and it looks absolutely cursed. Like it looks, there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but it's cursed.
Oh yes, 100% that is completely cursed. We have... That's not how things work!
I'm gonna send it in the general channel here on the Discord we're in, so you can take a look.
Not sure. Not sure if that's allowed. You're allowed to post such cursed content right there. And yeah, can confirm that is completely cursed. And now Feise is heading into the Artifact Temple for the Space Dragon fight.
Oh wow, I missed Plasma Beam.
Plasma Beam was an Aether.
In Aether? Oh,
Yeah,
in Research Aether, yeah.
yeah.
Right,
Not Planet Aether. We haven't just taken a trip to Echoes.
There's three different kinds of Aether. There's the planet, there's the room and labs, and there's the out of bounds in every single room in every game. So that's a really hard, like, that's a thing you need to specify. You need to
Yeah, I probably
specify.
should.
You need to specify Research Aether.
Yeah, probably. Surprise, this is actually a multi-world. We found it on Aether. I mean, to be fair, also for people saying it was out of bounds, well, with item location, Rando, Plasma can also be in the Aether, so yes, all three of those can have Plasma.
Yeah, like, if that is implemented, then it could be made, like, if you have a single room out of bounds, like, if you have stuff out of bounds in logic, then you could also put items out of bounds. Like, that's something you could add. That sounds really fun to play.
Yeah, very cursed, but very interesting.
Place all items out of bounds and start with all you need to go out of bounds. Yeah, that would be fun.
Well, I mean, technically, depending on the room, there's places to get out of bounds without space jumps, so...
Remove all the rooms and make the game nothing but Aether. Yeah, I support that.
Better hope you practice your frame-perfect Aether jumps in Prime.
One thing that I think should be made is a a full map of Prime. Just like have every single room in an area loaded at once, at all times.
I mean, that'd
Remove
probably
every
be...
single load zone.
That'd probably be very taxing computationally and probably a complete mess to logically program, but would be cool if it was...
Absolutely, that's why I want to do it.
Fair enough! Fair enough.
I mean, mainly would be because it would definitely, like, if you actually played a randomizer in it, it would add a lot of options for out of bounds stuff. Like, you could get out of bounds in one room and just go wherever you wanted.
Eh. Yeah, pretty much. Out of bounds in Prime is weird as is. Anyway, others are going to be both heading into their final bosses. EGC starting off on EXO pretty much right as, or wait, no, Feisty starting off on EXO pretty much right as TGC starts on Ridley. TGC boosting into Ridley for the instant kill. And
Like, out of bounds in Prime is weird, but at least it's not an instant death.
yeah, that is true, but
And you can't accidentally die while just being inbounds and using the grapple beam along a spider surface, like I did a bunch of times in Dread today for some reason.
oof.
It really doesn't like when you have no spider magnet and are using grapple beam to scale a wall.
Yeah, that would make sense that that's a bit buggy.
Like, apparently you can clip slightly into the wall just enough to trigger the death animation.
Yeah. But anyway, enough about Dread Rando. We are off onto the Prime. I see heading into Subchamber 3, starting off with the Plasma, which is nice, and of course, Prime was nice enough to start off with the Grapple attack, which just leaves Prime exposed for a very long time. It's something that got nerfed in later versions so that Prime did not just expose itself while standing still for a very long time, but since Rando is most commonly run on version 1.0, we get to deal with the Prime that just stares angrily at you for a very long time when using the Grapple Beam attack.
Is it ever run in any other version?
Well, I imagine not everyone like maybe some people would want to use their home version, and not everyone cares about tricks, so.
Like, I know there's a way to play with bashes all rando on the trilogy version, so that's a later one.
Yeah.
But when it comes to GameCube, I don't see why you wouldn't want to play on version 1.
Yeah, I mean, it could just
It's
be.
it's the version that that Randovania's logic revolves around, basically.
Yeah, I mean, some people. I mean, there are just like quite a few tweaks here and there for later versions. Like I believe later versions add fission Metroids to lower mines. They and then like there's some changes to attacks here and there. Like I know Ridley's AI is a lot less broken on future versions, and so I could definitely, especially also given language limitations, I can see why some people might want to just stick with other versions if that's what they grew up with. And hey, all the power to them.
Yeah, in Europe we don't have version 1, but you know.
Yeah. The ice spreader that I was managed to grab earlier, definitely coming in handy for Feisty.
Yeah. Especially with all the ice they've been getting.
Yeah, a very nice chaos phase for Feisty so far.
Glad we don't have flamethrower, so we can't like clown around with it right now.
Unfortunate. But Feisty finishing up their EXO fight and onto the Essence. Fortunately,
Actually, did Interslice get flamethrower? Because if Interslice did, then that's a double win. Or
I
a
don't
win
remember
squared.
them picking it up early on when I checked their stream early, but who knows? Maybe Interslice decided to grab it later on a whim. Feisty deciding to check that latest versions of Randomania haven't sneakily made Essence weak to Power Beam shots. Good job. Always gotta be vigilant. Never know when Dark Zero might sneak something in.
So, remind me why people fight Essence in this weird on and off way.
The Essence... Do you mean by on and off, do you mean by, like, shooting intermittently, or, like,
Yeah.
going in and out of the pool?
Both.
Okay, for the intermittent part, that is basically just due to animation canceling. Essence doesn't have, like, a set time between pools. Essence has a set number of moves, and by basically allowing it to get to the point where it's just starting its next move, but then just interrupting it with a phase-on shot, you can basically just skip all the animations and then get to the next pool very rapidly. As for going in and out of the pool, there was a brief period of time where you don't count as in the pool, yet are still able to fire phase-on shots, and so basically by repeatedly stepping in the pool and then firing phase-on shoots when going out, you can get a bunch of free phase-on shots and basically do a bunch of damage without do a bunch of extra damage per pool.
I see.
So both of those combined make Essence as a fight go much, much faster, which, considering how slow it is in vanilla, is very welcome. As for tiny shots of Hyper Beam, that's mainly just to conserve ammo for the for animation canceling, and then just using it all in the end after all the shots are canceled and Essence is laying the next pool. Think this should be it for Feisty, I think, with the animation cancels. I think this should probably be a dead Essence. I don't know, maybe. Oh, no. Unfortunate. Essence is holding on with a sliver of health.
I'm not sure if anyone has done it, but one thing that should be done absolutely would be a simple sprite slash texture change for both. Okay, that's it.
And that is it for Feisty.
132.45.
Not bad, especially considering how neck and neck both runners were throughout the entire thing.
The stream is way too loud.
Yeah, we should probably lower the volume on that one. Alright, that should be better.
Oh yeah, we've seen almost every item on the tracker. We are just missing. We're only missing thermal.
Yeah, thermal is really the only mystery left in the seed. Probably somewhere in lower mines. That's the only place. Or it could have been Ice Temple, I guess. Alright, Feisty should be joining us for an interview here soon.
Okay, let's see the, okay. Thermal was in PMT, of course.
Of course.
Of course you were meant to get Plasma Beam, then go all the way back there.
Hello there, Feisty.
Hello.
As you can see, TGC is finishing up Essence right around now. Should be done very soon. This was overall a very close race between the two of you. You were neck and neck up until the two of you started splitting with your Fendrana routing.
Yeah, that plasma beam threw a wrench into everything, mainly because nothing was pointing towards labs.
Yeah. Definitely. Plasma was definitely a troll, as it seems like both runners did basically everything in their power to go ever except labs.
I'm guessing Enterprise went to labs in time.
Yeah.
Probably. But
Probably.
nothing pointed towards plasma beam because, let's see, you had grapple and PPC, which, okay, maybe it's in Magma Pool, because that puts that in logic. Nope. And then you have X-Ray and Vendrana's Edge, whatever that cave is, and, well, MQA was nothing. And it's just, where's Plasma?
Yeah. You see...
Yeah, I think there were no real clues because, like, the location Plasma was in didn't have any particular requirements. Like, you can do it all with just, bombs, pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, even reaching it, I'm pretty sure you just need, like, boost or spider and bombs. Like, that's it.
I'm just glad that I had a save in Magmore so I could go check Chozo and just go right back to Vendrana right after.
Yeah, that was some very nice routing through that.
Anyway, I have to go actually, so
Yeah. Finishing things off. Let's see.
I'll let you handle the interviews.
Yep.
Goodbye.
TGC has just finished on stream with a time of 1:36:38. So overall, a very close race between the two of you.
Oh, can we talk about that thermal visor?
I have the thermal visor. I wonder where thermal visor would be. It's in PMT. I know chat was joking about thermal visor being in PMT earlier, but I wasn't expecting them to be right.
Let's see, thermal and PMT and Wave Buster and Cargo Freight Lift.
Yeah.
The only convenient beam combo outside of Super was Ice Spreaders. Because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're doing the check anyway.
I mean,
right here.
Flamethrower was involved. That's not really inconvenient. Oh yeah, by the way, I need to hand you both your runs. Both of your runs were invalid because neither of you picked up Flamethrower, for shame.
If it helps, I honestly thought about it.
Do so or do not. There is no try.
Hey, I have Flamethrower PTSD ever since I had a Flamethrower Go mode.
Yeah, the nonsense that can happen with newer Randovania versions.
Yeah. That was interesting, though. I'll say that much.
Yep.
But Chozo pretty much had everything, save for a few things.
Yep. It was a very jet Chozo. There were 5 artifacts in Chozo and then 1 artifact in Honorary Chozo.
Honorary Chozo?
Artifact Temple. It's kind of like a Chozo Ruins location. It is a Chozo Ruin.
Fair enough.
And we are joined here by TGC. GG to both of you.
GG.
GG, and no, you did not lose to 50-50.
I did lose a 50-50 because my choice was at Courtyard. I could have gone through labs, done Farfen and stuff like that, but I chose to prioritise mines by skipping Thardis and basically hundled the rest of the seed before coming back to Fendrana. That was my 50-50.
Yeah, both of you ended up dodging labs for as long as possible, which did not pay off for either of you.
I got E-tanks. That was the benefit.
Oh yeah, that E-tank spread was really poor.
Like, there was no E-tanks in all of, like, Chozo for the most part. It wasn't until
Yeah.
we actually went into
I was
Magma.
seriously curious if we were going to see EXO with no E-tanks.
I would not have.
No.
I'm not comfortable with it. Like,
Minimum
I
4
need
for me.
3.
But so that Varia suit though.
The Varia, the Varia didn't mind me. I had a funny feeling with the way the seed was shaping up because there wasn't much left to do. The concern I had was, were you expected to go through mines and loop all the way around before I saw Varia? And I was like, ugh, this is horrible.
I know we
Yeah,
in commentary were expecting a logical frigate because at the point where you got thermal, like you could, or at the point where you got Varia, you could have also gotten thermal, which would have put frigate fully in logic, and you had had gravity for a while. So we were expecting to have to see like logical frigate plays, but nope. Then Varia just had to show up right at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see where thermal was?
No, I didn't. I actually missed it in the credits. It's the only thing I didn't
PMT.
find. PMT. Ugh. That bad.
Yeah. There's only one thing in Cogger Freight Lift too, and that was Wave Buster.
Yeah, I got it. Because like when I picked up Varia, I decided to bar skip and then reverse frigate, check Overgrown Cavern, and at that point I was like, right, I'm going into Magma.
Yeah.
Found Phazon and then started finding E-tanks. I was so happy to find that E-tank in Warrior Shrine.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Oh, that was your first one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
both.
seen none. But no, that was this seed was weird. I was about to question whether Interslice had used an old or wrong preset because it felt like there was no placement waiting at all. Because to find all Chozo artifacts was and like such a super early Phazon suit was really bizarre.
And it just came down to where's Plasma.
Yeah.
Which, as I was telling them, I just could not figure out what pointed towards Plasma at all, if anything, because of where it was. Because it's like, alright, I picked up X-Ray, I'm going to go straight to MQA. Maybe it's over there. Maybe it's pointing that way.
That's what I done.
And then I found Grapple down there. It's like, okay, let me go ahead and go check Magma Pool real quick. Maybe it's over in that neighborhood. I know I didn't check
that
works.
as well.
I had no E. But nope, it was just chilling in the labs.
Yeah, like I think my lack of experience here is I have not rolled many seeds where it's so front loaded in the current settings. So I'm not used to like such an early Phazon suit. And that tends to like ring alarm bells that something's off in the seed. And I should have just followed through and just pushed labs. Because it kind of tells you that Plasma isn't far. Because for Phazon to be dumped so early on in the seed, it kind of suggests the seed is done with everything it's supposed to do. I just don't have experience with those types of seeds.
Sure. I was thinking it was on Thardis, and I found just another E on Thardis.
I never did Thardis, yeah.
I glitched out the camera on Thardis.
I ended up jumping into Thardis, like, I skipped over Thardis, realised I didn't have Grapple Beam, and I was like, well, this is going to be awkward. And had to do some, like, really finicky bomb jumps to make sure I didn't trigger the box.
That is one thing I'm happy about. I got the Q monitor dash second try.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I was happy to get the dash back, which
I didn't
kind
dash
of mess
back.
up.
I had Spire by then. I didn't mind. Plus, So I went through Thardis, went to early Fen, and just came back through labs to the front. I completely went around labs. That was literally the last area in Fen I have not checked.
Oh, it was the same, yeah. Because I routed back into Farfindrana first and then looped all the way through labs. It was literally just on my way there. It was... I think I only had Observatory and Hydra left. Were my last two remaining checks of the game. So, yeah, doozy of a seed.
It was just unfortunate where Plasma was.
Yeah, it was a good seed.
Do recommend. I do know who to recommend the seat though to. You know who I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Angel.
Maybe, I guess.
I'll see what he thinks of it. But GG TGC.
Jeez.
Yep. With that,
Nothing else to add from me.
unless anyone else has anything else I want to say, I think we could probably wrap this up right here. GG to both of the runners. Certainly interesting to see to commentate.
Can't wait to see the VOD.
It is one of those things that is described as a seed. But with that, I think we can all sign off. I have been RoboScout.
I'm TGC. Make sure you follow everybody. Follow the commentators, follow the trackers, follow Fizy.
Yep.
See the links going out.
I appreciate it. Follow TGC as well.
Yep. And with that, I think we will see you all next mission.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Yep.